تترأس هذه الجلسة معالي حصة بنت عيسى أبو حميد وزيرة الدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. المتحدثون في الجلسة معالي عائشة منيزة نائب وزير الخزانة والمالية السابق المالديف، السيدة لوريدانا سيغريتو المدير العام لجامعة بمونتي أورينتال إيطاليا، السيدة ماهاوا عضو سابق في مؤتمر هايدان الاستشاري السياسي من الصين، السيدة اليسار عبد الكريم متحدثة في TEDx وناشطة شبابية من فلسطين.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، ومساكم الله بكل خير. نسعد بهذا اللقاء الجميل اليوم الثاني من هذه القمة العالمية للمرأة بإشراف وحضور ومتابعة أم الإمارات أمنا الشيخة فاطمة بنت مبارك أطال الله في عمرها ومد لها في هذه الصحة والعافية، تشجيعاً لبنات الإمارات ولكل مرأة في العالم. اسمحوا لي خواتي واخواني ان هذه الجلسه ستكون باللغه الانجليزيه، وستكون هناك كذلك من خلال المحاضرين والمشاركين معنا ستكون هناك مشاركه باللغه الصينيه. هناك توجد ترجمه مباشره لكل من يحضر معنا. Your Excellencies, we will get started. In a highly uncertain and complex world, women can play a vital role in creating avenues of certainty. In a highly degrading global environment and a planet that is traumatized by depletion of its resources, women are urged to promote sustainable and greener behaviors and practices. Recent research studies reveal disproportionately in presenting actively engaging women in circular economy strategies, activities, and processes. Hence, our session today will be focusing on women's vital and much needed role in promoting a circular economy and advancing sustainability. I'm very pleased to introduce our prompt and very active speakers who will enrich today's discussions with their knowledge, skills, and expertise. If you may allow me, our esteemed audience, I will start by introducing Her Excellency Ashet Muniza, the former Deputy Minister of Finance and Treasury in the Maldives. Second, we have Dr. Lorida Segretto, the Director General of the Universal Diplomito Oriental from Italy. And third, we have Mrs. Mahwa, the President of Beijing West Mahwa Food and Privilege from Beijing. And last but not least, we have Ms. Elisar Abdel Karim, TEDx speaker and youth activist from Palestine. Ladies and gentlemen, this session will facilitate a collaborative conversation and map discourses about such a role among all the multiple hats that women wear and across all contexts, including but not limited to family and community, education, youth, STEM fields, consumer behavior, and environmental, social, and governance, ECG, what is called by ECG's markets. If you may allow me, I would want to first start by allowing my esteemed panelists to start by giving 4 to 5 minutes of remarks on their perspectives on such a topic. If you may start, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all. It's a pleasure to be here today. First of all, I'd like to thank the organizer of this wonderful summit, especially Her Highness Sheikha Fatima bint Mubarak, the Mother of the Nation, for giving me this opportunity to be here today. Another thing which I want to highlight before I go deep into the topic is that I'm really privileged to be here to talk about a topic which is very close to my heart. When it comes to circular economy and sustainability, there's no way we could exclude women from it. Therefore, again, I thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity. And being an Islamic finance advocate, it gives me double pleasure to talk about this topic, especially we understand that from the Islamic perspective, we are supposed to be vicegerents and we are supposed to manage the resources on this earth in an effective manner or in a sustainable manner so that we can manage the resources in such a way that it doesn't go wasted. So coming back to the topic and as an opening remark, what I want to highlight is that when we talk about circular economy, the first thing we need to understand is the notion of circular economy. It's not just a buzzword, but it's more than that. It can actually help us to reduce pollution. It can help us to reduce the biodiversity extinct problems that we are facing. It can help us to reduce wastage in our societies, economies, and basically speaking, all the problems which we are facing in this world can be eliminated by adopting circular economy, and it has so much potential in it. We just need to practice it. So I'd like to focus my talk on what is circular economy is all about. Frankly speaking, in a layman terms, if we were to describe what circular economy is, we need to understand what is a linear economy. So in linear economy, basically what we do is, as you know, we extract resources, materials from earth and produce things, and then at the end of its cycle, it goes for waste. But in circular economy, what we are trying to avoid is the wastage. We want to recycle, reuse materials that we produce in such a way that it doesn't go wasted at the end of the day. So we are reconnecting with nature. We are circulating things we produce and the materials we use in the most effective manner, reducing wastage and pollution, and that is what circular economy is all about. And as for women's participation in circular economy, I believe that we have a role, whether it is in household, in society, or in economy. Let me just cite one quick small example. Now, we are the biggest producers as well as consumers of whatever we have on this earth. Now, imagine the clothes we wear, the food we use. Now, for clothes, do we have a secondary market to sell our clothes to those who are in need, to ensure that everybody has clothes in this world? By doing such a small act of kindness, we are actually promoting circular economy. Likewise, the food we eat. If the food is something which cannot be shared after we use it, can't we just use it as fertilizers, for example? Or if it is usable by a third party, can't we gift it to someone who is in need and try to achieve sustainable development goals by eliminating hunger in the world? So these are small actions that will matter and contribute to circular economy as well. And the last example which I'd like to highlight is, imagine you go to buy food or to buy anything to any of the shops, and you have a shilling which you wouldn't be using for any productive purpose. Can't we just donate it so that at least using charity roundup initiatives or having that kind of a mechanism in the society to help those who are in need, we just even give our shilling to a person who is in need. And that is what circular economy is all about. And I believe that it has very much potential, and we women can be ambassadors of it wherever we go. Of course, it would have been good to start these initiatives long time back, but what to do now? We are here, and we should start now by activating ourselves as individual levels. If we can't activate that in a societal or at an economic macro level, just do it micro level, and we will see the result, inshallah. With this, I conclude my opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. As we said, Your Excellency, it's never too late. Thank you very much for the very informative starting remarks and opening remarks to our session. If you may allow us, we'd like to move now to Dr. Lorenda. We'd love to hear from you your opening remarks as well, Doctor. Please.
Excellences, respected panelists, colleagues, distinguished guests, and participants. Let me start by expressing my sincere gratitude to the organizer for giving me this opportunity to take the floor in this important meeting. I am the Director General of Università del Piemonte Orientale, a lively, innovative, inclusive university that was founded just a quarter century ago and represents a privileged asset for our region, which is situated in the northwest of Italy. 3 campuses in 3 towns, some 16,000 students, of which 10% come from abroad and 61% are women. Some 400 professors, 42% are women, and 350 employees, 69% are women. Create an exciting environment where to study, to do research, and to disseminate its results. We span almost all the disciplinary fields, from life and health science to medicine and surgery, from physical to social science, from economics to humanities. Since I was appointed in this office in 2021, I've been working on a couple of basic questions that I would like to propose for discussion today. How can universities and how can university women promote sustainability? I have to tell you that the current vision and policies of my university focus right on sustainability, the major social goal that the entire world is trying to achieve. Today, we can define it as the capacity to maintain or improve the state and availability of materials or conditions over the long term in the dimension of economy, society, and environment. Our current strategic plan lays its ground on this concept and these goals. All of us might feel that particular sense of universality that this definition implies. It uses comprehensive concepts like capacity, state, availability, and incorporates those dimensions that connote the entire human life. It immediately comes to our minds that the word university embodies the same notion of the whole, the total, the universe, the world. No doubt it is not the only reason we can match sustainability and university. It has something to do with the ontological mission of universities, which have unquestionably changed over the times. From the days of Galileo and Newton, universities have been charged by 2 general assignments: teaching on the one hand and research on the other, in that virtuous hall of mirrors where research is the lifeblood of teaching and teaching helps drive research. This dichotomy is no longer adequate for today. The needs of humankind are much more elaborated and demanding. What is the new then? We should go back to antiquity to find the key of the issue. Lucretius, a Roman poet and philosopher, opened his second book of his poem on the nature of things with a powerful metaphor. An observer looks at the wreckage of a ship in the distance from a safe reef. For sure, today we may interpret this metaphor as the humankind's destiny if we keep on dealing with our planet in a non-sustainability way. But let's consider this observer. Who is he? Who is representing? A person who is happy to be far from the disaster? Where did he find shelter? Probably he looked himself in a sort of ivory tower, a place where to save his life, to and so. You will not miss that the image of the ivory tower has been used frequently to describe university. A close and narrow world whose actors are happily cut off from the rest of the world. The good news is that universities have managed to get rid of this old-fashioned image of the ivory tower and converted it to the shape of a lighthouse for the benefit of the entire society, more competitive, more involved, more transversal, more enlightened, more sensitive to its surroundings. Today, the university's lighthouse produces 3 light beams. I have already mentioned the first two, teaching and research. The third one is called public engagement. It describes the myriad of ways in which the activity and the benefits of either education and research can be disseminated and raise awareness of public opinion on specific issues, to which the universe can make its own scientific and cultural contribution. Voltaire said, "If il faut cultiver notre jardin, we must cultivate our garden." This is the key rule of universities, to work and to improve that garden, that is the world we live in. This is a sustainable university.
Thank you so much, Dr. Segretto. Indeed, a very insightful talk in capitalizing how universities can help in such a market. Thank you very much, Dr. Segretto. If you may allow me, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to move now to Mrs. Mahwa, and she will be giving her opening remarks.
Assalamu alaikum. 大家好，我是来自中国的女企业家代表，所以说呢，我今天呢用中文给大家分享一下。非常高兴，也非常感谢组委会呢，邀请我来参加的本次活动。下面呢，我就是我们中国的这个女性企业家是怎么创业就业的一个话题。女性是人类社会的重要组成部分，在当今全球发展中，女性在社会经济中起到了越来越重要的作用。从女性角度看待全球可持续发展的观点意见也被重视关注，女性参与社会经济的地位与角色也得到了提升。我来自中国，我用35年的时间打造了西部马华餐饮品牌。我是用中文讲，有同声翻译，好，并在我的企业中呢，有3000多名职业中呢，有一半是女性。在中国呢，还有很多女性也通过创业就业取得了成功和幸福的生活。在当今全球社会环境、自然环境、经济环境、国际交流中，我们都在思考人与社会 人与自然的关系。中国的传统文化中就有天人合一、和谐共存的理念。今天在这里呢，以我们企业的案例，我给大家分享一下。那大概介绍一下，我们企业是以物业管理、餐饮直营连锁、管理学院、多元化为基起的一个企业。目前在全国呢跟国际有100多家企业，这是我们大概的一个品牌。那这个是我们的分布图。那下面呢，我将从人、场所和环境3个要素分享一下可持续经济和循环经济和绿色低碳经济在西部马华企业中的实践。那大家看一下，这是环境篇。那这个呢，是我们冬奥会的一个主题，冰雪主题的一个环境。那这个是我们的一个黄河的一个主题环境。那我们这个环境呢，还有一个是钢铁主题，是以钢铁是这样炼成的为主题，满满的工业风，强势的铁皮工厂的复古感。餐厅内部的设计以文化、记忆、温度为关键词，进行空间建构的打造，以园区的工业风的一个文化的一个设计。那我们再看一下我们的这样一个中式的餐厅，是在我们的世园会里头。很荣幸呢，我们呢在世园会指定我们是清真餐饮的接待单位。那当时在19年呢，世园会汇集了100多个国家和国际等官方的参展者，吸引了1600万人次的参观者。我们西部马华呢，作为清真餐饮企业代表呢，服务了20多个国家的政要。那我们也同步在国际发展方面，在新加坡也有几个品牌的分店，这是 VOCT 新加坡。那我们呢，也是在中石的这个精品高端商务方面的一个环境，这是我们哈马尔汗的一个环境的一个。这个是我们是也在新加坡发展的这个阿里江的一个特色美食的一个环境。那我们现在今天呢，重点呢发展这个环境是5.0的一个模式。那5.0呢，主要突出的是它的标准化、智能化和效率化，以人为本的一个3人沉淀的一个这样模式。那我们基地呢，主要是以爱心助农的一个这样一个，把这个农户的绿色的优质的农产品，我们设计一个基地，让它呢，我们用的原材料呢有源可溯，从前店到餐桌呢，打造的一个5步骤绿色、安全、放心、健康的一个奉献给客户服务的这样一个产品。那从人文的这个环境呢，我们是3代人的一个传承，完了主要是以匠心、坚守、工艺这样的一个传承。那大家现在看一下我们的这个产品啊，这主要的研发理念是以我们中国的食疗养生、药食同源的这样一个理念。那举个例子呢，我们有一个黄芪的一个养生思路宝鼎，就是把各种非常营养健康的吃的，加上我们中医的中国的这个养生的一个黄芪，给它冻出来，这吃起来是非常的补身体，对身体好的。别的像中国有一个600年的清蒸烤鸭呀、烧烤生宴啊，像我们特色的8宝手抓饭啊，这样一个健康理念、营养的一个美食。那从员工的幸福管理，我们纳入到管理的体系当中，企业的，像我们员工的自有房加自有车，员工人数的这样的人数占到了一个67.3%。员工增收致富，我们每5年内要打造100个万元的一个收入家庭，让员工呢与企业有一个共同致富、共同幸福的一个归属感。那我们中国的企业，尤其女性企业呢，就是非常要做这种爱心的一个活动。那我们每年呢也带着我们团队做这样一个爱心活动，像在我们的西部地区建了中学、小学、幼儿园，还同时设立了奖学金，完了定期对我们团队去23年来呢，坚持不断的改善学校的设施和教学设备。 这是环境片。那环境片呢，我们主要还是坚持这4个要素：低碳减排、绿色环保、节能高效、前沿科技与储备这样一个。那这里头呢，其实我们在厨房设备方面，我们有很多的一个知识产权的这样一个专利。那我去举个例子，这2项是我们国家级的一个专利。我先说一下，我们其中有一个蒸煮灶的一个研发，就是把蒸煮灶出来的这种热气给它回收呢，让它经过锅炉的一个加热，让它循环的这个水呢能够再利用，完了做清洁啊、洗手什么的。那这样呢，我们每年呢就节省了这个燃气，按100家来算的话，电是432千赫时。同时呢，我们也降低了一个3立方的一个煤气。那评估呢，1年我们节约这个燃气的能耗达到了518平方。那还有再举个例子呢，我们另一项专利是烧烤炉。那我们餐厅呢，就是有很多的烧烤炉做餐饮，那我们也是用了一个镍合金的一个材料。那它这个材料是它加热快，辐射也是温度快，完了这样呢就是让它呢低排放，非常环保，也没有油烟。完了，同时是员工在工作的时候呢，温度降低，有一个非常清凉厨房的作用。这个呢，我们1年也是节约这个电是172万千赫时，每年节约了。真正的在我们企业的从这个设备来讲的话，让它起到了节能、环保、减排的一个作用。这个我重点讲一下我们企业在节能环保的这样一个图啊。那我们也是注重的这样一个国际交流，带着我们团队这次我们也是带着我们团队都过来，在我们的本地阿布扎比也是吃到好多的美食，学到了很多的人文的一个环境，非常感谢。那我们以往这几年呢，也是在国际上，像我们带着团队去学习，像去了土耳其啊，去了法国啊，去了马来西亚去这样的几个国家去注重这样的一个国际的交流学习。那同时，其实我们在2015年，我们企业就是在低碳10大绿色环保方面，我们是得了一个奖项的。那我们餐厅呢，也是一个劳力士餐厅，是5钻级的国家级的餐厅。那从人文方面呢，还是天人合一，中国讲究的文化，天地合一。总的来说是和谐、和平、和睦的一个和谐发展，成就了可持续经济、循环经济和绿色经济。好，谢谢大家，我的演讲说完。
Thank you very much. Mrs. Mahwa, we really appreciate the fact that you are here with us today, representing your company and giving us an example of what is being implemented in China, but specifically in the Beijing West Mahwa Food and Privilege Company. It was amazing to have a look not only on practices that you had, but also how we yield results of all that through the amazing awards that you have received. Last but not least, with our opening remarks, ladies and gentlemen, we would love to hear a little bit more from Miss Alisar Abdel Karim, our TEDx speaker and youth activist from Palestine. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, esteemed participant, UAE State Minister Hissa bint Isa Abu Humaid, I'm tremendously honored to be here to speak in this distinguished Arabic nation to celebrate the opportunities the United Arab Emirates is opening for women. This serves not only as a reminder of the accomplishments of women, but also the accomplishment this esteemed Arabic nation was able to accomplish in a short time span. History was really created. I would like to start off with a small background story. I grew up in Palestine, where I was taught as a young girl that my concerns should be the political challenges my country is facing and how to deal with daily obstacles I might face 2 meters away from my house in Jerusalem. Nevertheless, I grew up and I went to conferences to represent my country to a boarding school for 1 year. I went to summer camps in nature, and now I'm pursuing a degree in economics and computer science in Germany, which all made me realize that what I was taught as a young girl is not the only thing that should concern young female figures in my country. There is more to how this whole system functions. Despite hearing the echoing voices of my teachers chanting, and I quote in Arabic, ركزي على دراستك هلأ وبعدين بفرجها الله, which translates to concentrate on your studies now and then God knows what would happen in the future, I decided to establish my own nonprofit at the age of 15. A nonprofit dedicated to the empowerment and education of Palestinian children through sports. Through this nonprofit, tablets were distributed among Palestinian children, and they were taught how to independently educate themselves and access the world through these little screens. This way, they can withstand and overcome all the challenges they might face as Palestinian children, and therefore use education as their weapon against all the odds. And this might leave you questioning about how such an initiative could help young women in sustaining a better environment and economy. Not all young women are privileged enough to experience all that I experienced growing up. Not all women are able to get the education I was able to get. I personally think and believe that if young women are educated and open to the outside world, then they would be able to achieve what people claim is impossible. My teachers should not be urging me to question what my 14-year-old self is capable of doing, or what any girl is capable of doing. We should grant opportunities to young girls to raise their voices and hear the voices of change, like the opportunities Sheikh Fatma bint Mubarak has gathered us here today for. Exactly. This could make education and the empowerment of young girls could make a transformation in allowing women to have leading roles in circular economy when awareness, capacities, and technical skills are raised to support sustainable destinations. We should make nature come alive to these young girls and allow them to leave their comfort zones and go out and connect with nature. We could allow our community to function as a tree functions, a community where no waste exists. This is through small habits that would play a major role in eliminating waste and biodiversity loss. I was educated about the importance of these small habits through my experience as a student in Germany. These are small habits that become part of your unconscious behavior. Whether I buy my daily groceries or work at a local bakery, I need to take a few more steps than the ones I'm used to taking in my own country. There are no takeout containers, no reusable bags, and the little waste I would have would be separated into 6 different categories, while keeping in mind that this waste is designed to be recycled. Circular economy is more than just an environmental recycling system. It is about the power of making connections. It's turning all tires into shoes. But to do this transformation, we should have many questions each time we purchase a product. Such questions should be where the materials of the product we are consuming come from. How can we keep our natural resources where they serve us the most? Questions concerning reshaping supply chains, energy transformation, and much more questions are to be asked. These questions could be overwhelming for the human's mind. Human cannot process that much information, but a computer can. Coding is the language of the future, and it should be taught to young females. We should give space to these young females to realize the connection between the language of the future and circular economy. These young females are to be allowed to initiate new solutions through technology that will allow us to implement the daily small habits that would transform our consumption from linear consumption to circular consumption. Young females should be given the power, trust, and effort in the field of technology and education for them to shine in the field of circular economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, before moving to our second part of this panelist, and it's going to be more into the questions, I just want to let you know that Elisar is it's at the age of 19, being here with us today, selected to participate, represents youth. The future is bright to this part of the world to invest in such youth, and especially women. Your Excellency, I'd like to start with the first question to you, and I probably, with regards to time, if you may allow me, I'm going to ask each one of you a question, and then we will conclude. So, Your Excellency, Aishat, I would like you to elaborate a little bit more on how do you imagine the future of environmental social governance, which is the so-called ESG markets, in terms of size, future investments, products, and services. How do you see this?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for that great question. I think it's a very relevant question because we are talking about sustainability, and sustainability is related to ESG. Now, if you look at the statistics out there, I found this PwC report, which is published after COP27, where it is expressly stated that global investors are today concerned at a massive scale about ESG investments, and by 2026, the amount of it will reach up to 33.9 trillion US dollars. So that shows us that there is future in these ESG investments. However, when we look at the types of products and services offered in this regard, it's important for us to understand the crucial role played by the financial institutions to incentivize us to be more conscious about ESG. For instance, nowadays, if we look at the type of products offered by the financial institutions, we understand that there are eco-saver saving accounts, whereby part of the portfolio will be given to education or socially impactful programs, so that through the financial institution, they are creating a green fund which will be ever growing through depositors. Likewise, today, if you want to buy a car which is hybrid, or if you want to purchase a green house or a green home, you are being given a preferential rate by the financial institutions, so that at least it becomes an incentive. Because, for example, if you look at the Malaysian scenario, we understand that 31% of carbon emission comes from the practices that we have in building of houses, which is not sustainable. Likewise, when we look at the global road transportation carbon emission, we believe that more than 85% of carbon emission comes only from road transportation itself when we look at the transportation sector as a whole. So therefore, the financial institutions, I would say, would be the drivers in future to promote ESG activities, so that at least we can create a circular economy through the help of it. One way is incentivizing whatever we have. And another thing which I see right now happening in the market is acceleration in the adoption of technology. Okay. Because without technology, we can't become efficient today. For example, in rural areas where there are droughts and seasonal crises in terms of environment, we believe that through weather forecasts, which is done through Internet of Things, IoT, or any other type of technology, they can control the type of crops they can grow and have a sustainable way of having food security. Yep. So in future, obviously, the role of financial institutions are very important, as well as the adoption of technology is very important. However, I believe that it's also important for us to have the right policies in place so that we could drive ESG initiatives to the next level. Obviously, from the grassroots, we can push it to a certain extent, but without the right policy, I don't think we will have the right environment. And with this, I would also like to emphasize on having sandbox regulatory environments for us to experience certain things we don't normally experience, so that ESG initiatives could be more innovative and more productive in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Indeed, ESG markets, as we were discussing earlier, was a luxury at one point of time. We are at a point of time right now where they're becoming a necessity. And without the proper policies in place, it's going to just be a one-off initiative which will not be able to sustain as well. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, once again. Ms. Alisar, if you may allow me, I'm going to shoot the second question to you. We really want to hear from you, Alisar, among the group over here, on how can women develop at a cognitive and a behavioral level, both cognitive and behavioral levels, how can women develop respect and love for our environment within the family and community? A very dear question to my heart. But I would want to know from your perspective, I want to hear from you, and the audience would want to hear from you as well.
I mean, this would prove the fact that women are leaders in the household, in the community. A woman is a leader in her nature. She's the harmony of the house, the harmony of the community. She builds the mentality, the behavior of the house. And it's about the small habits I talked about in my speech, I referred to, implementing such habits in the household within your element, within your nature, would allow us to achieve the sustainability in our environment. And this was recently implemented by the actress and social activist Angelina Jolie in her Bee School, where she educated kids about small habits that would allow us to keep bees part of our environment in order for them to pollinate our crops. And these would be small habits such as providing water in metallic bowls for the bees to drink water from them. And this would keep them alive to pollinate our crops. Women can certainly do that. Women can certainly decide what behaviors, what mentality their household and community should be driven in order for us to hopefully sustain a better environment, and not only environment, a better future. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. Dr. Segretto, if you may allow me, the third question will go to you. And we want to really hear more about the role of universities. So in addition to facilitating specialized content about the environment, we want to know how can lead teachers and instructors develop sustainable behaviors and practices within their own classrooms and beyond practices outside the classroom as well. But the role of universities is very important, and we want to know from you, Doctor.
Thank you for this question. First of all, there is a broader framework with many resources within the framework of European Union policies related to the circular economy and sustainability. My university in particular opened a department, a scientific department, entirely dedicated to a sustainable development and environment transition. It is directed by a woman. A multidisciplinary team of teachers and researchers from scientific and economics, social, medical, legal, and humanities fields come together to tackle research, teaching, and third mission issues revolving around the 17 SDGs. This department offers 2 bachelor's degrees and 1 master's degree courses that are packaged with the content tackling the aspect of sustainable development. GREE Chemistry, for example, trains graduates able to develop new products and processes that aim at reducing energy needs, environmental impact, opportunities for the recovery and enhancement of waste, and the reduction of byproducts. Environment management and sustainable development nourishes students' passion for environment conservation, defined against climate change and sustainable development in all fields of society and the world of production. Food, health, and environment is designed to evaluate the impact that mechanisms related to food production can have on the environment. We have launched this course very recently. 150 students have already enrolled to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Mrs. Mahwa, my last question will go to you. And we really want to understand, in terms of business mindsets, approaches, how can women play a critical role in ecologically transforming consumer behavior to become more mindful and appreciative of sustainability priorities? Thank you.
部长好，我还是用中文说啊，就是低碳节能、绿色环保，这个话题呢，我们今天在阿布扎比办这个峰会是，我认为是女性峰会非常好的。这个低碳节能、绿色循环经济环保呢，我认为是女性呢，她是最适合能干好的。原因是女性呢，她有天生的一种勤俭持家，啊。 非常的勤俭持家、勤劳，非常节约的这样一个美德和这样一个习惯，所以说我认为呢，就是不管女性她是在管理层，或者是政府人员，或者是创业就业啊，她们在这种低碳节能、循环经济环保方面，它是一个可塑性、天生的一个性格，所以说会做得更好。谢谢，我第一个问题答完了。
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Very much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, it was such an amazing honor to have you all here with us today. If you may allow me to conclude, I'd like to assert that in the United Arab Emirates, Emirati women are proudly empowered, and the focus of their role has now shifted toward empowering all group of the Emirati society and supporting all international efforts as well. Hence, I'm confident that the session has already generated some valuable insights about our active involvement and leading roles in promoting a circular economy and advancing sustainability. I'd like to thank our remarkable speakers, each and every one of you, for taking the opportunity for participating with us here in the United Arab Emirates in this esteemed Global Summit for Women. I thank you again and wish you a wonderful day. Thank you.
نشكر كلاً من رئيسة الجلسة معالي حصة بنت عيسى أبو حميد وزيرة دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. كما نشكر المتحدثين معالي آيشات مونيزا نائب وزير الخزانة والمالية السابق المالديف، السيدة لوريدانا المدير العام لجامعة بمونتي أورينتال إيطاليا، السيدة مهوى عضو سابق في مؤتمر هايدان الاستشاري السياسي من الصين، السيدة اليسار عبد الكريم متحدثة في TEDx ونشطة شبابية من فلسطين. حضورنا الكرام، ستبدأ استراحة الغداء عند الساعة 1:30. كما ستبدأ الجلسة القادمة عند الساعة 2:30.